This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. Today's video is brought to you by Privacy.com. In just a minute, I'm going to talk about an offer exclusive to you and my audience that really you should consider because this is a solid product. Before I get to that, though, I want to talk about today's topic of this video, and that is the fact that this week has been a deluge, if you will. It has been a flood of new information and occurrences related to the investigation, the subsequent investigation to the insurrection. Not only have there been contempt votes, criminal contempt referrals, of Steve Bannon, but also now CNN is reporting that at least five former Trump White House employees, staffers, are talking to the House Select Committee investigating the insurrection on January 6th. This is good news. I don't like to give a ton of praise to Republicans. I certainly am not one who is long for praise for people who volunteered to work in the Donald Trump administration. But this could be something to be praised, that they are volunteering. They are not waiting to be commanded to appear through subpoena, through legal subpoena. This also could be, we don't know the timeline here, but this also could be because the House is finally flexing its co-equal branch power to compel testimony through subpoena and enforcing that through criminal contempt referral to the Justice Department, something we did not see during the previous Congress, during the Trump administration. I'm going to read a little bit from this article, but before I do, let's talk about today's sponsor, Privacy.com. Just as certain as your spending is going to increase over the holidays, so will your risk as an online consumer. Using your own information on the internet opens you up to possible theft and fraud. What if you could entirely avoid using your details online? With Privacy.com, you can. Privacy is a tool that allows you to create virtual cards so you can mask your bank information and keep your details secure. You decide who can charge these virtual cards, when they can be charged, and at what amount. Privacy even lets you use any billing information you like, so your personal details remain completely anonymous. And Privacy is 100% free to use. Head to privacy.com/Dollemore and sign up for an account. For a limited time only, as a member of my audience, you will receive $5 to spend on your very first purchase. What other site is offering you free money during the holidays? Go to privacy.com/Dollemore and safeguard your online spending. Using Privacy, your virtual cards are locked to a single vendor, so you have no worries if a merchant is hacked or experienced a data breach. You can freeze or unfreeze cards as you please, and refunds will work even if a card is paused or shut off entirely. And there are zero hidden fees. Protect yourself this holiday season by opening an account at privacy.com/Dollemore. That's privacy.com/Dollemore. As a Dollemore fan, you will automatically get $5 to spend on your first purchase, but only for a limited time. We're talking about free cash you can put toward your holiday credit card statement. So go to privacy.com/Dollemore and sign up right now. So this is a big deal. At least 5 former Trump White House staffers are talking to the House January 6th committee. I'm going to read a little bit from this article and we're going to break it down. At least 5 former Trump administration staffers have voluntarily spoken with the House committee investigating the January 6th attack on the United States Capitol, CNN has learned. Those discussions come as lawyers working for the committee have also reached out to a range of other Trump aides to inquire whether they would be interested in speaking with the committee voluntarily without the threat of a subpoena. The 5 former staffers who have had conversations with the committee have done so with either members or their staff. You see how it works in Congress is you've got committees that are comprised of the people you see behind the dais, members of Congress, senators, congresspeople, and they have large staffs, the committee staffs, but also personal staff that work in their office representing their district. And these staffs are the ones who organize the testimony, who really do the work on the ground for the elected representatives. And that is what they're talking about there when they say they're either meeting with staff or they're meeting with the members, the staff of the committee. Some believe they have information worth sharing, while others are hoping to avoid being legally compelled to talk to the committee. And that is where I talk about the praise. If they're volunteering because they want to do what's best for the country, then they should be held in decent esteem. If they're doing it to protect their own ass, then maybe not. Quote, I've got good reason to believe a number of them are horrified and scandalized by what took place on January 6th, and they want to do their legal duty and their civic duty by coming forward to explain exactly what happened. Representative Jamie Raskin, a Democrat member of the committee, said on CNN's The Lead with Jake Tapper Tuesday. We're going to continue to encourage everybody who has relevant information to come and talk. If there are staffers out there who are privy to conversations that took place in the White House, who are privy to phone calls, outgoing or incoming phone calls, that will lead us to have a fuller understanding of what took place on January 6th, they need to talk to the committee. It is in democracy's best interest. I almost said something less impactful. Like it's in the investigation's best interest, but it's not just the investigation. It's in democracy's best interest that we get to the bottom of what took place, who organized it, who orchestrated it, who incited the violence, and hold them to account. Because the findings of this committee hopefully are being paid attention to by the Justice Department, which up to now has done very little other than investigating and prosecuting the disparate elements of the individuals who actually stormed the Capitol. The low-level individuals, not your Steve Bannons, not your Rudy Giulianis, not your Mo Brookses, or your Marjorie Taylor Greens, or your Lauren Boeberts, or your Paul Gosars, or your Matt Gaetzes. There's a lot to be done. Continuing with this article, the engagement could provide insight for the committee that's seeking to learn more about the actions of former President Donald Trump, ex-President Donald Trump, and his supporters in the lead up to the riot. According to 5 former Trump aides, counsel for the committee has emailed or texted them directly to ask whether they are interested in coming in to talk to the congressional investigators, often looking for context on what happened inside the West Wing before the insurrection on January 6th. While several people have voluntarily sat down with the committee, others have declined the committee's request or not responded at all. The outreach has ranged from junior-level staffers to more seasoned officials. See, here's my problem with the manner with the manner with which Democrats are handling themselves, which is kind of pattern and practice for Democrats. They're so beholden to decency and fairness that they, in turn, are not being decent to America or the continuation of our democracy. They're not being fair related to those interests. Too much deference leads to inaction. If you're looking for bipartisanship or cooperation, because that's what you would do, all you're doing is going to be putting yourself in a position to be stepped upon. And that's how I see this going down. Republicans aren't going to cooperate unless they're forced to. We've already seen that. We've got a few staffers here. And if it's that they really want to get to the bottom of it, great. If it's that they're only covering and they don't want to be subpoenaed, not so great. Finishing the article, the outreach is not necessarily because the committee believes the staffers were involved in what happened that day, but the investigative staff appears to be trying to glean more context on what was happening inside the West Wing before, during, and after the attack, according to the sources. And a committee spokesman declined to comment. To be expected. All of this is good news. It means if you pull a thread, more information is going to come. Things are going to become, it's going to start unraveling. And we need to get to the bottom of this so we can prevent it from happening again. I've talked about it in the past that there are many experts, people in this who study these things, both in academia, but also in law enforcement, intelligence, that there is a very real, incredible threat of continued violence in this country over the coming months and years. And we have a duty to get to the bottom of it now in order that we prevent it from happening again. What do you think, though? I'd love to know. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your attention. I appreciate you spending a little time with me today. You can follow me on social media. I'm at Dollemore, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all over the place. And if I bring you a little value, I would appreciate it if you would consider supporting my work, helping produce my work here on the platform. For just a couple bucks a month, you can become a channel member by clicking the join button below, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcast. I love you guys. I appreciate you. I'll see you next time. Until then, be genuine. Take care of one another.